I received my first significant promotion. That's cute, sneered my mother. Now be a good daughter and give your brother a loan. I answered, actually, I have a different surprise for you, while grinning and removing a bank statement. Before she understood what I was carrying, she giggled. At that point, the yelling began. I'm David, and I was living a very typical life until a few months ago. I'm 31 years old. Nothing spectacular, nothing to be upset about. As a project manager at a computer business, I had a respectable job. I had a reasonable relationship with my family and lived in a tiny, comfortable apartment in the city. That's what I thought, anyhow. But when I received that promotion, everything was different. It was the promotion I had been aiming for years, not just any promotion. The one that would at last show me that I was making progress. Senior project manager, greater accountability, a substantial increase in wages, and lastly, some regard from my colleagues. For once, I was the one receiving praise and recognition for my efforts. No more letting the guys in the office, who always appeared to go ahead, take precedence over you. I immediately contacted my mother to share the wonderful news, of course. I thought she would be somewhat impressed and proud of me. After all, I believed that this was a huge thing since I had worked hard for it. Let's just say that her response wasn't precisely what I had anticipated when I informed her about the promotion. She responded, "That's nice, honey," in a bland voice. "But you know, it's cute and all, but your brother needs some help." I blinked, momentarily perplexed. "Mom, what do you mean? What can you help with?" "Don't act foolish," she yelled. "He has been having financial difficulties. He truly needs a loan in order to begin this new project of his. I take it that you're doing well now? You ought to assist him and be a nice daughter." The truth of my connection with my family suddenly hit me hard. I knew, of course, that my mother was always the one to spoil my brother Aaron. At the age of 29, he was still living at home and attempting to determine his life's purpose. He had attempted a few unsuccessful business endeavors, left college twice, and generally appeared to cruise through life without ever truly dealing with the fallout from his choices. But there she was, pleading with me to save him. Once more. "I can't believe it," I murmured, my voice becoming a bit tight. "I don't believe I can just give him a loan, Mom. I put a lot of effort into getting this promotion. My financial situation is still a mystery to me. I don't have that much money to spare." It was not well received by her. "David, you're acting selfishly. You're needed by your brother. He's had a difficult time, you know. He is your sibling, your household. Do you not wish for his success?" Her remarks were like a kick to the gut. Her statement wasn't the first time she had stated it. Family first was her motto. However, I was the one who had to repeatedly prove myself while Aaron coasted by on my mother's pity and excuses, and I was the one who had to pick up the pieces after his most recent failure. I was determined to break out from that cycle. I tried not to lose my cool and answered, "I understand, Mom, however, I'm not in a position to assist him at this time. I have my own objectives and ideas." She scoffed in response. "Preparations? Objectives? Your constant self-centeredness makes you sound like your father. You shouldn't disregard your family just because you've accomplished something at last." I didn't want to admit how much that hurt. My father had always encouraged us to be self-sufficient and not depend on charity. Aaron wasn't saved by him, and for some reason, I was always the one who had to do it. Despite the fact that I could feel the heat rising in my chest, I replied, "I'm not forgetting about you, Mom," in a firm voice. "I simply don't think it's appropriate to save Aaron each time he makes a mistake. Perhaps it's time for him to deal with the fallout from his decisions." The person on the other end of the line paused. Her breathing was audible as she tried to comprehend what I had said. When she did speak, it was in a colder tone. "You won't assist your brother, then? Is that it?" With firmness, I answered, "I'm sorry, but no. I can't." The ensuing hush was deafening. I sensed the strain rising. She said something that stopped my heart in its tracks, just when I thought she may let it go. "Well, if you're not going to help him, I guess you're not really part of this family anymore, are you?" The words sliced like a dagger through me. This was unexpected. I was expecting her to be disappointed, but this was not the case. I could feel the weight of her disappointment pressing down on me, driving me to a place I hadn't been in years, and she was furious. I took a while to reply. A part of me wanted to yell back, to dispute, to tell her precisely what I believed. However, there was another part of me that made the decision to do something different, perhaps the one that was finally sick of being the responsible one, the one who was constantly trying to please everyone. I responded, more icily than I meant to, "I'm sorry you feel that way, Mom. But I'm not going to apologize for setting boundaries." I hung up after saying that. I was enraged. After I received the best news of my career, my mother tried to use it as an excuse to guilt-trip me into solving Aaron's problems. I couldn't let it go, though. I had a plan, something I had been thinking about for some time. I no longer wanted to be walked all over by my mother. No more playing the part of the submissive daughter who always followed instructions. Something needed to change. However, I was going to wait to inform her. No, before I revealed the truth, I wanted to be sure she knew what was going on. I gave my bank a call the next day. I knew I needed leverage, but I wasn't sure how I would use the knowledge. I had to be ready for what was about to happen. And I had a plan once I hung up with the bank. A few days later, I attended our customary Sunday dinner at my mother's place. To be honest, I had been dreading it. Since that phone conversation, my mom had hardly talked to me, and I could tell she was still upset. However, I was also aware that this was the ideal chance. This feeling of injustice has been accumulating within me for years. I was going to do something about it immediately. Everything about her home seemed the same when I arrived, including the immaculate kitchen, the family pictures on the walls, and the subtle scent of herbs and garlic from whatever she was making. The standard configuration. As usual, my brother Aaron was slouching on the couch with his phone buried in his face. As like I didn't even exist, he hardly raised his head as I entered. "Normal," he said. "Hey, David," with little zeal. "Hey," I replied, attempting to avoid seeming tense. I turned to look at my mother, who had her back to me and was stirring something in the pot on the stove. Without looking back, she remarked, "You didn't tell me you were bringing a lawyer with you." I could sense the irony in her remarks. I didn't pay attention to what she said. I wanted to avoid creating a scene, saying, "But you're right, I need to be upfront about this." I tried to collect myself by taking a deep breath and placing my handbag on the table next me. It was this, the turning point that would alter everything. "Well, I guess we need to talk about Aaron," I began, my voice calm but firm. She whipped around, the look on her face already defensive. "What about him? I know you're upset about the money, but I think it's time to have a real conversation about how we've been handling things," I said. She scoffed. "What do you mean? I've already told you, your brother needs help." I nodded slowly, trying not to get frustrated. "And I get that. But what I don't get is why you've always expected me to be the one to fix things for him." "Because you're capable, David," she shot back. "You have a good job. You're the one who made something of yourself. Your brother is struggling, and you're turning your back on him." I could feel my patience starting to wear thin. "It's not that simple, Mom. You've been covering for him for years and it's not helping him. You think he's going to change if I keep giving him money or bailing him out? He needs to stand on his own 2 feet. My mom crossed her arms, the same stubborn look on her face that I knew all too well. "You sound just like your father, always thinking you know better." I didn't let her words shake me. Maybe it's because I do know better. I've been working hard for years, and now I'm finally in a position where I can do something for myself. I can't keep enabling Aaron just because it's easier for you. She took a step forward, her face reddening. "You don't get it, David. I don't need you to lecture me. I'm your mother. I'm the one who's always been there for you, and this is how you repay me." I looked at her, my heart sinking in my chest. This wasn't about me. It was about her expectations, her need to control everything. "I'm not repaying you, Mom. I'm just trying to set boundaries. I'm trying to finally live my life the way I want to, without being dragged down by guilt and responsibility for someone who can't get their act together." There was a long silence. The tension in the room was palpable. Aaron didn't say a word, still glued to his phone, not even looking up. My mom was seething, but she didn't speak. That's when I did it. I reached into my bag and pulled out the bank statement, the one I'd been carrying with me for days. My hand shook slightly as I unfolded it, holding it up in front of her. She looked at it for a moment, confusion clouding her expression. "What's this?" she asked, a little too casually. I smiled, though it wasn't a happy smile. It was the smile of someone who had been pushed to their limit. "I think you'll find it's an account balance," I said. "A balance that, if you're interested, would allow me to make some very interesting decisions." Her face twisted in confusion, and then recognition hit her. I could see her eyes flicker to the numbers on the statement. The shock slowly spread across her face. "I don't understand," she said, her voice lowering. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying that I'm done," I said, my voice steady but full of weight. "I'm done being the one who fixes everything. I'm done being the obedient daughter who does everything you ask, even when it's not fair to me. I've been working hard, and now it's time for me to take control of my life. It's time for me to stop letting you manipulate me into taking care of your problems." I could see her processing the words, her mouth opening and closing as she tried to find a response. Her face flushed with a mix of anger and disbelief. You can't be serious," she said quietly, almost as though she couldn't believe what she was hearing. You wouldn't turn your back on your family." I held my ground. "I'm not turning my back on anyone, Mom. I'm just finally putting myself first. I've been trying to make everyone happy for so long, but it's never enough. And now I have something you're not expecting." I paused for effect, letting the words linger in the air. "I'm bringing a lawyer next time I come here. And I'm taking steps to make sure I'm not just the good daughter anymore. I'm going to start making decisions that are best for me. You and Aaron can figure it out on your own." My mom's face went white, and for a moment, I thought she might collapse. The anger was still there, but it was mixed with something else now, fear. Fear of losing control, of losing me. "You don't mean this," she whispered. "I do," I said softly. "And you'll understand why soon enough." As I left my mom's house, the feeling in my chest was a mixture of relief and anxiety. I had done it. I had finally stood up for myself, something I'd struggled to do for years. But as I walked to my car, I felt a knot form in my stomach. And for a second, I wondered if I had done the right thing. I had always known my mom would react badly. She had a way of twisting everything to make me feel guilty, like I owed her something for simply being her daughter. And then there was Aaron, who, despite being perfectly capable of standing on his own 2 feet, had been allowed to fail without consequence. His problems always conveniently landing on my shoulders. But this time, I wasn't going to let that happen. The day after the dinner, I sat down at my desk at work, trying to focus on a new project. But all I could think about was my mom's face when I showed her that bank statement. I could still see her jaw dropping when she realized I had saved up a significant amount of money in an account she didn't know about. I'd always kept my finances separate from the family, partly because I didn't want them to know how much I had, and mostly because I didn't want them asking for loans or handouts. I hadn't wanted to go as far as I did, but I knew I had to make a point. I had to show my mom that I was in control of my own life now. That I wasn't the person I used to be, the one who let everyone take advantage of her. The truth was, I'd been thinking about this for months. The idea of showing my mom I was financially independent and taking control of my own destiny had been building slowly, like a fuse burning down to an inevitable explosion. But it wasn't just the promotion or the money. It was the years of resentment that had built up, the countless times my mom had undermined me, and the way Aaron was constantly excused from the consequences of his failures. That night, after I left my mom's house, I spent the next few hours processing everything. I didn't regret what I had done, but I couldn't shake the uneasy feeling that something was about to explode. I hadn't heard from my mom, but I knew it was only a matter of time. The call came the next day. I saw her name flash up on my phone, and my stomach dropped. "David," my mom's voice was strained, almost pleading. "We need to talk." "I know, Mom," I said, trying to sound calm, but I could feel the heat rising in my chest again. "What do you want to talk about? Why did you do that? Why did you bring that up?" she asked, her voice breaking. "You knew it would hurt me. You knew it would drive a wedge between us." I took a deep breath. "I didn't do it to hurt you, Mom. I did it to make a point. For once, I'm not going to let you or Aaron manipulate me into doing things I don't want to do." You keep asking me to bail him out, to fix his mistakes, but when do I get to focus on my own life? When do I get to have my success without you trying to turn it into a way to fix your problems? There was silence on the other end of the line for a long moment. When she spoke again, her voice was low, like she was trying to hold back tears. I've always done what was best for you, David. I've always tried to protect you. I thought you'd understand that. I understand that, Mom, I said, my voice softening a little. But I don't need to be protected anymore. I've been protecting myself. And I've been taking care of myself while you've been doing everything for Aaron. It's not fair to me. I need you to see that. There was another long pause. Finally, my mom spoke, her voice quieter now. I don't know what to say, Rachel. I just wanted what's best for you. But if this is how you feel, I'll respect it. I don't want to lose you. I could hear the sincerity in her voice, and it almost made me feel guilty. But deep down, I knew I was doing the right thing. I'm not going anywhere, Mom, I said, trying to calm her down. But things have to change. I need to live my life for me, and I can't keep being the person you expect me to be. I know, she said softly, almost as if she was resigned to it. I just don't know how to let go. You don't have to let go, Mom. But you do need to trust that I can make my own decisions. It's time for us both to start living our own lives. And that means not using me as your safety net anymore. The conversation ended awkwardly, and I hung up feeling a mix of relief and sadness. My mom hadn't reacted as badly as I feared, but I knew things wouldn't be the same for a while. It was a shift, a hard one, but I was ready for it. A few weeks later, my mom reached out again. This time, it wasn't to argue. She was calmer, and she even acknowledged that she understood why I had done what I did. I guess I didn't realize how much I was leaning on you, David, she said. Maybe I just didn't want to face that Aaron needs to figure things out on his own. I've always wanted to protect him. It's okay, Mom, I said. But I need to protect myself too. You've raised me to be strong. Now it's time to live that strength. So here's the situation. Right now, things have been pretty rocky between me and my mom ever since the dinner. We've talked a few times since, but it's clear there's still some unresolved tension. She keeps saying she understands, but I can tell she's hurt. She's trying to make things right, but it feels like it's all coming from a place of guilt rather than real understanding. My brother Aaron hasn't really said much to me since I showed up with that bank statement. He's still doing his usual routine, acting like nothing changed. I'm pretty sure he's angry, but he's not the type to confront me directly. He just keeps avoiding the issue, which honestly only makes things worse. As for me, I feel conflicted. I know I did what I needed to do for myself. But there are moments when I feel like I might have taken it too far. My mom's been reaching out more frequently, asking if we can meet up and talk things through.